The Baltimore Orioles, they ain't playing so well recently. The Guardians, they are playing well recently. They did exactly what you want the Guardians to do. They took care of business in Baltimore, and they're being led by a guy who is refusing to be taken out of the lineup.
You are Locked On Guardians, your daily podcast on the Cleveland Guardians. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome on into a winning Wednesday edition of Locked On Guardians. The Guardians, a 6-3 win over the Baltimore Orioles. We are Locked On Guardians. We are here every day talking about the Cleveland Guardians, our favorite team, your favorite team. It's our favorite half hour of the day. We hope it's yours too. And we are glad you are making Locked On Guardians your first listen today and every day, wherever you get podcasts, especially after the Guardians win. We do this every day. Nobody's going deeper on the Cleveland Guardians, from the Major League team, the minors, and the draft, and we do it every day. And I am Justin Latta. I have grown up a Cleveland baseball fan, and I have been covering the minor league system since 2007. You can read some of that work over at the News Herald, the Morning Journal, next year in Cleveland.substack.com, and every day here on Locked On Guardians with my co-host, Jeff Ellis.
That is me, unsurprisingly. For those who do not know me, I am Jeff Ellis. The one and only. Actually, there's many of us, but I'm the only one who used to write at Scout and 24/7 nationally, focused on prospects and the draft, as well as being one of the very first people Locked On brought on when it was time to bring baseball into the fold.
And we're talking Cleveland Guardians. We're talking baseball. I'm not going to sing that because we're just going to try our audience. Wait, baseball. We're talking cards. No, I'm not going to sing that because I'm not going to drive our audience away. But we are going to talk about the Guardians taking care of business in Baltimore, beating a bad team, kicking a man when they're down. Martinez and Allen take care of business. We have to talk about Brayan Rocchio's weird inconsistencies. And the Guardians, they need a little better production from right field. I think we have a way to solve that. So stick around for that in today's show as well. Before we get deep into today's win for the Guardians, today's episode is brought to you by the one and only Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONLB for $20 off your very first purchase with Game Time. Jeff, you brought up a good point the other day, as you bring up so many, of course. Sometimes it matters when you play a team, not who they are, but when you play them. The Guardians didn't exactly play great the first two games against the White Sox. They kicked them in Game 3. They played well against the Royals the first two games. They did get beat by Cole Reagans, as many will do. But the Orioles, they are not a great team so far this year. They're not hitting. Charlie Morton is struggling. Their pitching is struggling. And I said, this is a Baltimore team that's good. I think they're still a talented team. And I hope you can get out of Baltimore with 2 wins before they figure it out, because I think they will. But you got to take care of business. You got to go out there and do the work, as we always say. So the Guardians, even though the Orioles are not playing well right now, Logan Allen goes out there, throws the best game of the year for him. Made me look stupid from yesterday's argument about Joey Cantillo being back in the rotation. Thank you, Logan Allen. That's why I'm paid to be here and not paid to be on the field making decisions. And Angel Martinez, man, you can't sit the guy down. The only thing that can stop him is himself from making catches in right field or not making catches in right field that hit his wrist.
Yeah, that was scary. This Baltimore Orioles team it's a good team. They made the postseason, but I think it's also a great cautionary tale, because the one thing we talk about often with teams is free agency is a sucker bet unless you buy at the top of the market, and the Orioles have skewed that. Instead of taking their money and spending it on high-end guys, they bought like 6 different players. They actually spent a ton, and it's not working out. They have the highest, I should say, ERA of any starting pitching staff in baseball. There is a lot of things going wrong with this team, and Cleveland stepped in and took care of business. We say, as I say so often, people are going to start getting fed up with it. Good teams find ways to lose, and good teams find ways to win, and bad teams find ways to lose. And that means, taking care of a team that's scuffling. And they did that. And the offense showed up, and they didn't let up. And it was just a strong performance from multiple players. There's so many guys to talk about. You mentioned the arm injury. How many people's hearts stopped? Comment below if your heart stopped when Martinez came up after the play in the 9th.
Yeah, I was definitely very nervous there. But then I quickly said he's going to be okay. And he said for the game, he was okay as well. Yeah, things could have gone wrong for the Guardians in this game. They had bases loaded, nobody out in the 3rd inning. Jose Ramirez was up. Charlie Morton walked 2 in that inning. And they, had an opportunity to go big and really shut the door early. He was struggling. He was dominating the first 2 innings, and then the third inning came around and he was struggling. So they finally had a chance to break through, and they only got a sac fly from Jose Ramirez, right? So you could easily look back and say, well, that's going to cost them because they needed to get more out of that inning. But the offense kept showing up. They kept being relentless. They kept having good at-bats. They kept drawing walks. Stephen Kwan came through with a 2-run home run. I think he's already off to another all-star campaign. If I'm being honest with you, he also had a walk three times on base in this one. Angel Martinez, another 3-hit game. So give the offense credit. Charlie Morton usually crushes the Guardians. Let's say that. He is dominated the Guardians, but he is struggling here. And the Guardians almost gave him a way out of a bad inning, and they showed up and they kept hitting. So give the offense a lot of credit for sticking around in this game, and give Logan Allen a lot of credit too. It would have been great if the Guardians offense had given Logan Allen more than 1 run in that third inning, but he pitched very well, and he could have probably gone a lot longer, but they got to the top of the order. But, like I said, he was determined. He listened to Locked On Guardians yesterday, as many smart people do, who are Guardians players and Guardians fans. And he said, wow, that Justin guy is an idiot, and I'm going to make him look bad by pitching really well today. And, of course, Gary Cantillo also listened. He decided, that guy is wrong. He's always wrong. I'm not going to pitch good today at all. Of course that happened.
Yeah. And, you texted me about the no-hitter right before they got their first hit. It was not a good day for Justin. In terms of,
I broke all the rules today.
That's why I really didn't love you saying that Angel Martinez is fine at the top of the show. I'm like, let's your bad juju is scoring off the charts right now. Let's avoid that. Yeah. They got up to a good lead. The bullpen had some struggles. Let's focus on the positive here though in segment 1. And I mean, just offensively, so many players stepped up and did a good job. Manzardo and Jones are the only ones who didn't reach base in some format. And, Martinez, obviously he's not going to hit 571 all year, but he had such a heater last year when he got called up. He's a very young player. The athleticism was just so clearly on display, but he just continues to perform. And, you ride the hot bat. I've said that many times. Again, I don't need Mr. Forever. I need Mr. Right Now. And right now, Angel Martinez is Mr. Right Now for this team. And if he's got the athleticism to maybe become, a longtime player, but he's doing enough and doing more than enough. And if you're not enjoying the experience with him, you must be a fan of the other team.
Yeah. You want a hot, steamy summer from one of your players, right? You want the hot affair with one of your players. You don't want forever. You want them to be hot right now. And hopefully they're hot in October. That's what Martinez has been doing for this offense so far. Yeah, are you sure he's not going to hit 571? If I'm having bad juju about things, maybe I can have good juju and say maybe he will hit 571 forever. You had 2 hits from Gabriel Arias in this one too. Jose Ramirez found grass twice. That was good. So he had a couple guys up and down this lineup get things done. Hey, Brayan Rocchio, he had a hit and a walk. That's all that happened, right? That's all.
And then he had 2 negative plays to kind of get you. It was the full Nutty Professor experience in this one, but that's more for segment 2. Keeping it positive. It's like, it's kind of fun though. We're to this point where Gabby Arias has 2 hits and he's like the 5th thing on our list to talk about. Like that, A, it's a good game, and B, it's like Gabby's just continuing to produce. That first one was all BABIP, but when things are going your way, they're really going your way, and they're going Gabby's way right now. That ball that just stopped on the foul line, that was just. Yeah,
those things do go your way when you're playing well. Same with Martinez. The ball hit the right field. That was a triple. The wind kind of carried it a little bit and helped him out. And Tyler O'Neill's got a cannon from right field.
He does.
And Martinez,
big arm,
tested him going to third, and a better throw would have probably had Martinez out. But as we said, when you're playing well, things go your way. The throw wasn't there, so Martinez was safe. And, also give him credit too for pushing that. You got to make your opponent make a play, and he didn't make a play. The throw was good, but it wasn't good enough. Martinez was there. That's what you have to do. You have to keep putting pressure on them. And it's important for them to win this game 1 too, because you win game 1 against the Orioles in this series, and now you've got Gavin and Tanner the next 2 days. So you set yourself up for a really good chance to take 2 out of 3, or maybe they'll get a sweep. But when you win game 1 of a series and you have what should be your best 2 pitchers going the next 2 days, I don't know, based on, if you look at all the starts this year, I'm thinking Luis Ortiz might be their best starter, considering he's had the best stretch of 2 starts in a row going back to Anaheim and Kansas City. But you should give yourself a really good chance to win this series in the next 2 days and possibly sweep once you took game 1, because I don't think any of us expected Logan Allen to go out and have a no-hitter in the 5th inning.
No, and it's gonna be. I'm very curious more than anything else, just because we've talked about Tanner's struggles, seeing if he can finally put it all together. But yeah, they it sets up well for them, and we talked about Baltimore's got a really shaky rotation, and Cleveland should hopefully take advantage of that, and we'll see another series win hopefully for this team.
Yeah, the Guardians have the advantage. That doesn't really mean anything when you have the pitching advantage because, like you said today, you have to go out and take care of business. You still have to go out and win the games against teams that are not playing well. You got to keep you got to kick a man when he's down. That's what they did with the Baltimore Orioles. All right, we talked about the nutty professor, Brayan Rocchio, who had 2 hits. That's all he did, right? No, there was more.
No, hitting a walk.
Yeah, hitting a walk. We have to talk about Brayan Rocchio's performance in this game and how the Guardians are going to get that on track somehow, or what they have to do on the rest of today's Locked On Guardians.
If I have one issue with Prize Picks, it's that you can't pick more or less on boneheaded plays Brayan Rocchio is going to make in a game. That would be the one thing I would request of them, because, man, we're seeing a little too many of those right now with this team. We'll get into that in segment 3. But first, let's talk about the basketball and hockey playoffs are heating up. If you're a Blue Jackets fan, it's like it's the playoffs already. Hopefully, we'll have some positive things to talk about there very soon. But there's no better way to turn your sports knowledge into real rewards with Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy. With Prize Picks, you simply pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and you're in. You can even combine players across sports, basketball, hockey, baseball, and more for your chance to win up to 2,000 times your cash. So the thing I always love to pay attention to with Prize Picks is look for their fun things. Look for the Taco Tuesday. Look for the Goblins and Deeblins, so you can have either an easier time or a bigger payoff. And really pay attention for when they give you that free category, because you only need to get 2 to win, and they're giving you one at least once a month. They give you one that is a gimme, one that there's no way you are going to miss. I feel like, what is Taco Tuesday? It's where they discount player projections up to 25% for even more value. Payouts are fast, safe, and secure. So download the app or go to the website today. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 off. To get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. So to clarify, you get $50 instantly when you pay $5. That's code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
Hey, thank you for making Locked On Guardians your first listen today and every day. Wherever it is you get podcasts, we are here every day, 5 days a week, going deep on the Guardians, the majors, for the minors, and the draft. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you are downloading automatically on all of your audio formats. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, wherever it is, auto download on audio so never miss an episode. We did have the MLB Squad Show drop on our feeds on Tuesday too, so don't miss that. That was where I think 9 or 10 of us got together and talked about just MLB storylines, headlines, who's doing good, who's not doing good. We did our power rankings. It was a lot of fun. It's a very fun kind of whip around show that we do once a week here on the network. I'm part of it. It's a lot of fun. And then make sure you're hitting the bell on YouTube. We're doing reaction videos. I did a video from Lake County on Friday. We got our daily episodes. We got bonus episodes. So make sure you're hitting the bell. And if you like what you're hearing, we had some fun chats tonight about how dumb I was about Logan Allen and Joey Cantillo today on the Insiders group. We had all of our insiders texting me saying, Justin, did Logan Allen and Joey Cantillo listen to the episode today? Because, wow, this is bad. And we had a lot of conversations about Brayan Rocchio, too. And Jeff's giving you bonus draft content over there. He's doing his box score bingo and his 3 stars of the game. It's up there on the Google Drive for all of our insiders. Join subtext.com/LockedOnGuardians to get in on all the action, bonus content, conversations, and more. All right, let's talk about Brayan Rocchio. He did have a walk. He did have a hit. The walk did help them, I believe, get the sac fly in the first inning, which was good, or the third inning, I should say.
The hit advanced the runner. His Naylor was running and is going first to third.
Yeah. So he had good things to do to the plate. He did also save Jose.
Yeah.
Yes, he did bail out Jose on one of those plays on a throw you and I both didn't think he would make, which was great. However, he had a base running blunder that ended an inning for them, and he also had another throwing error that didn't cost them, but I don't know. All the things I heard coming up for Brayan Rocchio in the minors was he's the professor, high baseball IQ, and I always heard, like, he's just got to clean up some consistency things, and once he gets that figured out, the timing and all that kind of stuff, it'll be good at the major league level, and guys clean that up. It's been 2 years now. I won't count 2022 against him because he was only up there, or 23 against him because he was up very briefly. But the last 2 years, man, every day it just feels like every other game, there is something about Brayan Rocchio where it's a base running blunder, it's an error, and it always comes at a bad time. Look at the playoffs last year. Every playoff error he made last year came back to haunt them. And it didn't haunt him in this game, thankfully. But I have a hard time with the guy who, we talk about the Guardians playing guards ball, right? And playing guards ball is high baseball IQ. It's making the smart play. It's making the fundamental play. Brayan Rocchio can do some good things at times. Don't get me wrong, but I just keep seeing so much inconsistency from this guy. I don't see where the baseball IQ is with the base running and the occasional defensive blunder, which is more than occasional. I just don't see it. I have a hard time understanding why this guy is nicknamed the Professor. I got to be honest.
And we came with the Nutty Professor a year ago for a reason. Like let's be very honest there. For Thanks, all Jared. All the nice plays he makes and all the defensive value he brings, his offensive production's been poor, incredibly poor. And this is the problem with a guy with his profile, where yes, he doesn't really strike out a ton in the minors, but he didn't provide power. He has below average speed. And, but he thinks he has plus speed with the way he tries to take extra bases and run, which is not a smart play. And then, let's be honest, getting picked off a second base in that situation is one of the dumbest plays I've seen all year. That is everyone knows that ball is getting caught. You have no business being that far off the base. What is he even doing? That is one of those plays where, they've got first and second at that point. I believe that's the first out of the inning. Or maybe it was this. No, that was the third out. I'm sorry. That was the third out. It was
double play. It was a fly out and he got caught off. Yeah. He got doubled off.
So it was the end of the inning. It was the third out. But either way, it's you can't get caught in that situation. Then you can't turn around and how many, it was a great throw. Maybe he needs to play third base. Maybe it's just he keeps air, because when he makes these throw errors, it's either too low or too high. But most of them are air balls. He is airballing a lot of throws. And I don't know what's going on there, but it's not good. And the offensive production is miserable. Their defensive value this year is down. Now it's early. Let's be very honest. It is too small of a sample size. Andres Jimenez, we talked about how, just to show you how bad and how it's too early to pay attention to some stats. Jimenez was negative until today. He finally got himself positive. We know that he's the best defensive second baseman in a decade. So that's just kind of the way of it. And Rocchio, I think, is going to be fine on the whole defensively, but there's just too many unforced errors, and they keep happening. And you can deal with that if he's close to league average offensively, and if the metrics still say he's an elite defender. But when you can't, right now, he's Miles Straw without the speed.
He's not even that good, because Miles Straw, I don't know if you saw the other day, he's hitting great, and he broke up a no-hitter with the home run. So he's not even Miles Straw. Miles Straw has more home runs this year than Brayan Rocchio.
True, and we know Straw is going to come back to earth. We've seen Straw does very well after a trade and then bottoms out.
Yes,
but
yes.
Rocchio is closer to what, and we saw the spring and we had hope in the postseason, and there's moments, but the problem is every time there's a good moment, there's 3 negative moments. And here's my question: are you more concerned with Rocchio and these never-ending glitches and issues? Yes. Boneheaded plays, or are you more concerned with Jose Ramirez being rated one of the worst defenders in baseball right now?
Well, I think I'm definitely more concerned about Jose Ramirez than I am Rocchio, because my feeling on Rocchio is that he's just not great. There's no consistency at shortstop, and there's no track record. Yeah, he was fine last year in range. You can say all the savant. This is one of those things where the stats page, I don't know, matches up to the eye test. The stats page was great. The outs with average was good. The only thing he's got red this year is strikeout rate. He doesn't strike out, like you said. But I don't know if I believe in Rocchio as the shortstop of the future. I don't see it defensively or offensively, because there's too many inconsistencies defensively. I'm more concerned about Jose, because there is a good track record there, which might sound weird, but it's just so weird how things have fallen off. I heard one of our insiders I was chatting with during the game mentioned that Jose Ramirez might be breaking in a new glove, so maybe that has something to do with the errors that
they have been glove side.
Yeah, most of his errors have been coming from a ball getting into his glove, and they've been bobbling out. He hasn't been able to grab with his hand. That's where most of his errors are coming from. It's not his range. It's not his arm. It's been bobbling the ball out of his glove. So if he's breaking in a new glove, that makes some sense. And I'm not really worried about it long term, but when you have a guy like Rocchio who is so inconsistent defensively, the guy next to him, Jose, who should be a Gold Glover, you can't afford those errors from him. He can't have Rocchio bailing him out. He's got to be the one bailing Rocchio out. So that's why I'd be more concerned about Jose. But I still think long-term he's going to be fine. But it does get frustrating when it keeps happening.
No, it's all very valid. It's weird. Because it's not just that it's a little bit, it's like it's a lot. Even his range is poor right now, according to Outs Above Average. It's more than just the glove, it's everything. He seems to be misreading hops, and it's like even if it's a new glove, like he's just the whole package is not working for him. And you would think if it would be more issues with Mail in the throws with the wrist injury. So it's definitely something that bears a lot of watching and something to figure out. But there's always the side of it too where Jose is a slow starter. Michael Martinez has as many 3 stars as Jose does so far in the early going. He had that one huge
Michael
game.
Martinez is on the team
Michael
again?
Martinez.
He's back? He's replacing Brayan Rocchio, right?
He's replacing Rocchio.
Okay.
It's one of those things. He's actually with Tito right now. Angel Martinez, has as many players in the game as Jose. So I also want to chalk some of this up with Jose, much like Class A, to it's early season, and these are guys who sometimes who historically do not come out of the gate hot.
Yeah. Speaking of Angel Martinez, he has got to stay in the lineup. We're going to talk about how the Guardians can do that with Lane Thomas potentially coming back, because the Guardians need some production out of right field. They are not getting it. So we're going to talk about Martinez staying in the lineup and how the Guardians can get production out of right field, where they're not getting any right now on today's Lockdown Guardians. Nothing better than catching an MLB game live, the crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the smell of ballpark food. I do love a hot dog, and I do love popcorn at the ballpark. If you're looking to go last minute to a game, Game Time makes getting tickets easier than ever. With last minute deals, all-in pricing, and a lowest price guarantee, Game Time, takes all the stress out of buying MLB tickets. Plus, we know tickets drop, prices drop as the game time gets closer, meaning you could score incredible deals. The Guardians are heading to Pittsburgh this weekend. Paul Skeens is pitching on Saturday on his bobblehead night. That is a hot ticket right now. If you want to go to that, it might be close. I would suggest checking Game Time before then to get some good prices. And maybe you're not going to that one. Maybe you want to wait till they come back home. The Yankees are at home against the Guardians on their next homestand. Those are going to be hot tickets, as they always are. You want to check Game Time as the pitch gets closer to all those. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Locked On. And the upcoming Guardians season is here. So I can count on them to help me grab all the tickets that meet my needs. I use it for baseball. I use it for concerts. I use it for comedy. I use it for a lot of things. I got to be honest. I bought my wife Cavs tickets on it a couple of years ago. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create the account, redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. All right, we saw Lane Thomas make a pinch hitting appearance in Tuesday night's game against the Orioles. He stayed in the game and played in center. Angel Martinez went to right, almost got himself hurt. I think he's okay. I would say, first of all, the catch in right field, the non-catch in right field had more to do with Martinez, the fact that he just doesn't play right field a lot. And that, Jeff, is my argument for saying if Lane Thomas is back and he's healthy and he's ready to play, put him in right field and keep Angel Martinez in center field as much as you can, because to me, you're going to improve your outfield defense that way. And we know the Guardians have a lot of fly ball pitchers. And B, you got to keep the hot hand in the lineup. Nolan Jones and Jhonkensy Noel. Look, there's a lot of things I think Nolan Jones is doing well. There's been some bad luck. The Savant page is very red, except for a couple things. He's striking out a lot. He's whiffing a lot in the zone.
He's not squaring up.
He's not squaring up. So there are some bad signs there. I do think on the whole, you're gonna get a lot of strikeouts from Nolan Jones. You're gonna have to live with that. I think at some point the results will turn for Nolan Jones, but I think in the part-time right now, while you're figuring those things out, I would move Lane Thomas over to right, because you got to get Lane Thomas going. You have to have him as part of this lineup. He has to be one of the guys that produces for you every day. And then you put Martinez in center field. Keep him playing well. Keep in center field where he plays his best defensively. I think that's what's going to drive the team right now. I don't think you can afford to put him back on the bench. And if Lane Thomas is back, he has to go to right field, because you need some production out of right field. The Guardians are getting nothing out of right field. Jones has a 461 OPS right now. He's got a higher on base and slugging. And surprisingly, Jhonkensy Noel higher on base and slugging. He's not striking out a lot, but he's swinging and missing a lot. I think you need to keep Martinez in the lineup, and I think you need to put Lane Thomas in right field. What say you?
It's never going to happen, but honestly, for me, like, because Nolan Jones has so much red, the only way he's going to get out of this is by playing a lot. Like, you need him out there because he can't hit his way out if he's not playing. And the page is mostly red. He's just got to square up some more. He's always going to whiff. He's always going to K, but the square up is the issue. Once he starts squaring it up, all those hard hits, the launch angle, the sweet spot. I mean, this is his Savant page is the page of someone who's going to have 25 to 30 home runs. It's just a matter of getting him to square up. So he still has to play. Martinez should be playing more, but honestly, he should be playing second base and Gabby should be playing shortstop because of everything we just talked about in the last segment. You know, Rocchio has the numbers, but the eye test doesn't match what we saw. Never at any point last year did I watch Rocchio and think this is an elite defensive shortstop. Did I think at points he's good? He's making nice plays. You know, sometimes though, that is like the sign of an elite player is that they don't, you know, they make the elite stuff look average, but I didn't see like range. I didn't see an arm that made me think he was above and beyond. So for someone like Martinez, you know, yeah, center field's great occasionally, and having him, you know, play, you know, right field is a way to get him in the lineup. But I would be the guy I'm taking at bats from is Rocchio, because it's not just that like the defense is backed up this year. The offense is taking a step backwards in the other, and it is early, and I'll keep saying that, but he looks bad in every facet of the game. He looks bad. He's poor on the base paths. He's getting thrown out stealing bases. He's getting caught off when he shouldn't be caught off. You know, the defense has been a mess with him, and offensively, he's doing so little that to me, yeah, Angel has done everything you've asked him. Gabby's still hitting. Nolan Jones's page looks a lot better than Rocchio's page. That's if you want to get to the best possible lineup, that's the best possible lineup is Angel playing second base and Rocchio to the minors.
How about this? Let's have Martinez start in center field a day a week. You can have him start at second base a day a week, and you can move Arias over to short. That's two games he can play right there, right? You're going to DH Jose on Sundays more than likely. You can move Arias to third base. You can play Martinez at second again. That's 3 games right there. Maybe you have a 4th game in center field, right? If you can get Martinez 4 games in a week, I think you keep him in the lineup. You still keep Nolan Jones in against right-handed pitching for the most part. Lane Thomas hasn't really had a chance to get things going. That's the problem. Like, he was off to a slow start. He got hit by a pitch on the wrist. He gets back in there on Tuesday, a week later, doesn't do anything well. It was a bad at bat. You hope he's okay and he can get things going, but it's going to take some time for him because he didn't have a chance to get things going before he got hurt. So it's going to take time. You're going to have to play him too. You're talking about Nolan Jones needs time to play through it. Lane Thomas does too. And I think you absolutely need Lane Thomas. He has to be a key piece for you, but I think you can afford to put Angel in center field twice, move Lane Thomas to right or Nolan Jones, play Martinez twice a week at second base where Arias plays third, Arias plays short. You give Rocchio a day off, you give Jose a day at shortstop, or you just let Jose take a day off completely. God forbid he actually has a day off at some point, like not even DHing. He doesn't even do well at DH, which is I think it's fluky, but like he could just use a full day off his feet.
Tie him up to get him to do that though.
Yeah, you gotta
get like locked in a basement somewhere.
Right. He won't like it, but it might be good for this team. So I think there's ways you can keep Martinez in the lineup and still try to get the other guys going, like a Noel or like a Jones or like a Lane Thomas, because you need all those guys to perform. You just also need Martinez in there while he's playing well. So I think that's how you make it work. And for Stock Watch Wednesday, Jeff, I want to ask you, how much stock are you buying in Angel Martinez right now? Because I'll tell you right now, my Stock Watch Wednesday pick right now is Steven Kwan. He's an all-star. He's going to be an all-star again this year. Give me all the stock that says Steven Kwan is a 2025 all-star, 2-time all-star, and he is just pricing his way out of Cleveland. I know that's kind of a negative thing, but he is pricing his way out of Cleveland very quickly.
You know, I am a slight buy. The only reason it's a slight buy is because we saw this a year ago, and then he wasn't consistent. And he's, you know, I've seen a lot of people in our comments say, "Oh, there's some Jose to him." It's like, no, like Jose is just. Jose never had the chase that Angel has, and Jose was a little bit more of a complete player. That's not a knock on Angel, but there's definitely some moments he doesn't have some like Jose. just never compare anyone to Jose. Like there's just, certain things you can't do. But I think he's a very exciting, very talented young player. So that's why it's a slight buy. We've just seen this inconsistency before, but like ride the hot bat. I'm totally fine doing that right now. And I mean, you can go back to our prospect draft from 2 years ago, and it's, you and I talking about him and being like, or maybe it's 3 years ago, that he being the future potentially at second base, or talking about how he had the most upside offensively of any of the infielders at the time. And that was with Rocchio and Arias also qualifying as prospects. So there's a lot of positives there. I'm not going to go out and, do a margin call though right now for Angel.
Yeah, I'm a slight buy too. I agree with you. I was showing some stats on the screen too a second ago. The exit velocities are really good for Martinez. He is getting some BABIP luck, but the bat speed is good. The exit velocities are good. When you do those things often enough, good things will happen. The launch angle probably isn't ideal for him a lot of the times, but he runs well. He hits the ball hard. He's got good bat speed. He's a switch hitter. He is versatile defensively. Like you said, the athleticism is there. There are a lot of things to like, and there's a lot of things to keep playing him for because he can give you so many different things doing very well. All right, the Guardians, game 2 against the Orioles on Wednesday night. That'll be Gavin Williams and Dean Kramer. Dean Kramer also not pitching well this year either, so it'd be great for the Guardians to have a game 2 win and take the series before it goes to game 3. We'll be back with you on Thursday's show for game 2 with Dean Kramer and Gavin Williams and how that goes. And we'll be back with Hear Me Out. We're going to defend some of our most unpopular takes. If you've got an unpopular take, let us know. We'll read the best ones on the air for Hear Me Out. We'll defend ours, and we'll be here with you again tomorrow.
Thank you all for joining us. Remember to rate and review, download daily. It helps. Again, if you want to see my box score bingo, go to my Twitter account at JeffMLBDraft. It's being updated daily as well as being in the insider folder. Thank you all for joining us and commenting, and go Guardians, go.